one. Slut Shack, baby, Slut Shack. Slut Shack, baby, Slut Shack.
Cocoa.
Cinnamon.
We're doing it. We're back.
We're back.
We're back, baby.
This is us, and this is Slut Shack.
We were talking about asshole cramps because you don't know what those are. So
Yeah, what are asshole cramps?
Shall I explain to you asshole cramps?
Please do. I've never been more interested.
As you know, the vagina asshole axis is all connected down there.
I can imagine. How is it connected? Please do enlighten me on this anatomy.
I don't know the anatomical, the nerve, whatever the fuck it is. When I get period cramps, often I'll just get asshole cramps. Like this morning, I was sitting in front of my counter in the kitchen, and I went to go. I was just like, doing my chores or whatever, and all of a sudden, oh God, an asshole cramp.
I would like to point out Zuko has run away from the podcasting area.
Bye, kitty.
Because Zuko got freaked out by the asshole cramps.
Just so you know, listeners, I clutched the couch to reenact my asshole cramp.
And Zuko's face just turned into like pure terror, and he bolted.
It's like a shot of pain up your asshole, like whole body freeze, like pain.
I've never had a hernia, but I imagine it might be.
I've never had a hernia either, so
you think it's
never
similar
heard of her.
Pain?
Never hernia of her.
Never heard of her.
Never heard of her.
Never heard of her.
Wait, what?
Interesting. Yeah. Asshole cramps.
So yeah,
learn something new every day.
Yeah, girls get asshole cramps to add to the list of things because we ate the apple. Because Eve ate the apple.
It must suck having a vagina. I'm not gonna lie.
An asshole.
And an asshole, but yeah.
Wouldn't know it.
I wouldn't know it.
I don't poop. I don't fart either.
You don't.
Girls don't fart.
Girls don't fart
or poop.
Good to know. What was? Oh, do we want to do? Do we want to talk about Will Smith's ears?
I just took a drink, bro. You can't do that to me. Do we?
Yeah, let's do it.
Well, if you are an avid podcast listener, you'll know that ears come up a lot, and also geometry.
If you know anything about cinnamon, you know that ears come up a lot.
And symmetry or geometry.
Geometric shapes, pointy ears.
Pointy versus round. And so we were sitting watching the 2004 movie I, Robot.
Great movie. If you haven't watched it, I've recently watched it for the first time. 10 out of 10 would recommend. Honestly, I swear CGI has gotten worse over the decades.
Definitely. iRobot is fucking incredible, but
phenomenal. As
we were watching this movie and gazing upon Will Smith's face, I could not help but notice his ears in the movie. He has a very cute, like, pointy ear shape, and I pointed it out, and of course Coco lost his mind because everything comes back to the ears and geometry and pointy.
Well, so we're sitting there, and Cinnamon's just like, oh, his ear looks kind of pointy in this frame, and then in the movie he like turns his head, and then we look at the other ear. They're both pointy. He's got elf ears.
He's a majestic elf man. He's hot. He was hot in that movie. Hot as fuck. Wood.
Also wood. Also wood.
What was your mystery topic? Your weird topic?
It's not even a weird topic, but I feel like in just recently been invited to so many birthday parties, and so I was curious. I was like, I wonder what the most common birthdays are.
Oh yeah, and what happened 9 or 10 months
before.
Exactly.
Yeah. Just trying to piece that together.
So it is now mid-April. So what happened 9 months ago?
So 9 months ago was
Independence Day.
We
were talking about this. July 4th.
Yeah. So
some fireworks went off for sure.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they did. All white.
Sparks will fly. Wait, what?
I said they were all white.
They were all white. Celebrating the birth of America by birthing more Americans. Nothing more American than that.
Nothing more American than that.
Wait, that's not a bald eagle.
What was that? It's just, what kind of bird was that?
What does a bald eagle sound like?
I have no idea. I'm not even gonna try to attempt a bald eagle sound. So.
Oh, you have a call?
I have a call. I'm not gonna take this call though.
You can. We're just chilling here. We're all friends here. Put them on speaker.
I'm not putting that individual on speaker. Not this. That would not. No. But yeah, 9 months ago was mid-July. So like in the general July time frame, that was the 4th of July, pretty much, or just some summer fun.
Yeah.
Them bonfires and just a good time.
Summer fling.
Summer flings. Okay, most common birthdays though. Okay, so the 10 most common birthdays, this is according to Google, right? 9 of the top 10 most common birthdays are all September. And then there's one that's July 7th. So you got September 9th, the 19th, the 12th, the 17th, the 10th, and then July 7th. And then we're back to September 20th, the 15th, the 16th, and the 18th. So there's just a ton of September birthdays.
So 9 or 10 months before July puts us in October, right? So Halloween, spooky Halloween sex.
9 months before July, I guess. Yeah, I guess that's Halloween.
Costume sex.
Time period. Ooh, some role play in there.
Yeah. What were people dressing up in costumes as like 20 years ago? Well, I guess I'm not 20 years old.
Yeah.
I'll have to do the math.
We'll just go, okay, what was 20, 30 years ago?
40 even.
That was...
Oh my God, 1980 was 40 years ago.
1980 was 45 years ago.
I'm a dipshit. I'm still stuck in 2020. I never left 2020.
Never left 2020. It was like
My brain just rounds.
COVID hit, and then I stopped processing after that.
My brain just always rounds back to 2020. But really,
is it going to round up to 2030 next year?
I guess this year it should have already done it, but I don't trust like that. You don't
trust like that? What was 9 months before September? Is that just like holiday sex? Is that just like...
Yeah, like New Year's?
Like December time frame? Just...
Yeah.
I mean, I don't freaking work in December. I kind of just... I don't care anymore.
All of these parents don't either. They're just like, whatever, I'll just pop out another kid. Got nothing better to do.
I feel like if anything, say you already have kids, right? Like winter break comes around and all your kids are back in the house. The last thing I would want is to have more kids. I would just be like, I just want to get rid of the current existing
No, you
ones.
gotta add more kids so that the more kids help with the more kids.
There was something that I saw a long time ago. It was like 4 or more kids is like the hardest amount of kids to have is 3. If you have 4 or more kids, it gets easier because then they'll start helping. But then they also like, I think the way like cliques and stuff work between the kids, it like balances out. Because like if you have 2 kids, they're arguing with each other. If you have 3, then they like, it would be like 2 against 1. But then if there's 4, then it usually will balance out like 2 and 2. And then they'll like kind of go from there.
They start forming factions. And then they learn about the worst of humanity very early on.
I feel like these days everyone is learning the worst of humanity every day.
You think?
Nothing good is going on. If there's positive news out there, send it to slutshackx@gmail.com because I could use it.
Yeah, send pee pics. Just kidding.
Send ear pics too.
Ear pics, actually.
For
I'd
Cinnamon.
I'd suck them.
If you got a nice geometric ear, Cinnamon wants to know.
Show me them ears. Don't be shy.
The other one was like, we're in our social era right now, meeting all these people.
I know.
Right?
I'm exhausted.
Yeah, a little bit me too. But so
Hashtag
many
me
people have the same freaking name. And it's like
name.
Yeah, it's just like we'll meet one person, like say it's like a Sarah, right? And then we'll be like, well, which Sarah are we talking about? Because there's like 20 billion Sarahs out there. So then I was curious. I was like, what are the most common names? I guess like
How many names let's just say female names. How many female names are there? Like, I know people could be super unique and reinvent them, but like realistically, like what's like the 99% cutoff? Like, how many names are there?
how many names are there?
Yeah, because if the population of the U.S. is, let's say, like, I don't know, this is probably outdated, but let's say like 400 million. You cut that in half, then like 200 million. There's 200 million women, but only a couple thousand names. See what I mean? There's not enough names to go around. There's too many people.
Well,
The amount
so
of
we've
names
got
we have.
some of the most popular names are like Ashley, Brittany,
Really?
Tiffany,
Lot of
Jessica,
names.
Sophia,
A lot of us.
Emma, Olivia. Did I say that one already? I don't
No.
know. There's a lot, but obviously that changes with time, right? Like Mary used to be very common, not nearly as common, I feel like, these days.
Yeah.
And then you've got like
Gertrude.
Gretchen, all those.
Gretchen Wieners. You haven't seen Mean Girls.
I haven't seen
Everything
Mean Girls.
comes back to Mean Girls.
We'll watch Mean
You can't
Girls.
sit with us.
I'll watch Mean Girls one of these days.
What were we talking about that Mean Girls was brought up a lot?
Mean Girls get brought
I'm a
up.
cool mom.
Yeah, Mean Girls gets brought up at least once a week, and I have yet to see it. So
It's very pertinent to us right now. It's calling. It's calling.
it's because of the cool mom comment.
It's really the cool mom thing.
Yeah. But yeah, so I can't find like a definitive list of like, oh, these say 10, 15 names make up like.
We need a Pareto plot of names. But there will be thousands of
That
them.
is the nerdiest thing I think I've ever heard you say is we need a Pareto
Yeah,
plot.
we have to delete that. We have to delete that.
Why not? Keep
I'm
it.
ruining the brand.
Pareto plot
You know what? I'm owning it.
of
owning it.
female
The plot's gonna be
names.
way too huge.
Do
It's gonna be
we
thousands of names.
want like a certain decade or like a certain year or like current existing people alive?
Let's do 80s or 90s.
90s. Let's do 90s.
Is that a?
There's no
That's why I said like there's not gonna be a Pareto plot because you can only do that with like a handful of names. There's gonna be way more than a handful.
This is from 1906.
Oh, that's like a word cloud.
This is
I'm
from
looking at.
1906. This is kind of interesting.
Helen actually kind of goes hard. That name's kind of hot.
This is from 1906. They had 300,000 baby girls.
Florence.
Names.
I love Florence Welsh.
So number one is Mary
Welch.
at 5.2%. Helen at second place, 2.29%. Margaret is third with 1.94%.
Margaret.
Then we got Anna, Ruth, Dorothy, Elizabeth, Alice, Mildred.
Elizabeth. Ethel Kane.
Where's Ethel?
Ethel, right there.
Oh, there
See,
it is.
right there.
12th
That's Ethel.
place. Mildred at 9th, and then Florence
Bessie?
at 10th.
Bessie? That's what I call my car.
Bessie,
Bessie?
Bertha,
Big Bertha.
Beatrice, Gertrude, Grace. Oh,
Hazel.
I think Grace is a pretty name.
Grace withstood the test of time. Hazel's a kind of a pretty name.
I like Hazel.
I like Helen and Hazel. Why
Nellie?
did those go out of style?
Nellie,
Nellie's a dog name now.
Sarah, Stella, Thelma,
Thelma and Louise. Drive, Thelma, drive.
Virginia. Oh, Virginia's kind of cute.
Virginia makes me think of Virginia or Virginia Woolf,
Virginia
who's a
Woolf.
lesbian. Is Virginia Woolf a lesbian?
I'd had to look that up. I feel like there was something.
She's an old writer.
Yeah.
Myrtle. Moaning Myrtle.
Catherine, Katie, There's two different spellings of Catherine on here. And they're
Leona.
split up.
Gladys, Esther, Irene,
Lois.
Ida,
Lois, like Lois and Clark.
Lois. Oh, I was thinking of
I was thinking
Family
Superman.
Guy. Family Guy.
I was
Isn't
thinking
his wife Lois?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
All right. Anyways,
But yeah, those are in 1906 the most
baby girls.
popular baby girl names. Crazy. I wish I could get a plot for this for like more recent years. This is actually, I really like this graphic.
The word cloud. Yeah.
I do like this. This is nice. So many Marys. So many Marys.
Mary, did she have a little lamb, or was it all a ruse?
At least some of them did. Some of them had to have been.
Women are liars.
Whoa, okay. Topic change.
I was just kidding. I just wanted to say something inflammatory to make you laugh.
Well, speaking of lying women and
inflammatory statements.
This now leads us to our fic for the day. I'm just gonna choose for us between the two.
Oh, okay. Tell us.
So the other day I was perusing the interwebs, and I decided that I was going to see if I could find an AI that could write us a AI generated story for us to use for the podcast.
I only have a very vague idea of what these stories are. I did not play any role in helping him generate these stories.
So basically let me see if I can find the prompts that I use for this one. Here we go. So what I had, I found an AI that was gonna write uncensored stories and stuff. That took a bit to find, but I ended up using Venice AI.
Okay. Why'd you just choose that one?
That was the top pick on Reddit for an AI that could write uncensored stuff. Because if you try to do like anything explicit on like ChatGPT or Google Gemini or like any of the other like big ones, like it won't give you anything. So used Venice AI, and the prompt was to write a sensual retelling of the Snow White fairy tale, where Snow White embraces her sensuality and has a deep fascination with the primal raw scent of sweat and intoxicating aromas of unwashed bodies.
Wait, was that their synopsis? The AI's synopsis?
I had a different AI create a good prompt to put in there, because we had been talking about like sweat and pheromone kinks at some point prior. So I was like, okay, we'll just have the AI story do like sweat kink essentially. And so I put that into the AI, and then I basically had it generated a couple times. So I was like, once it generated the first pass, I was like, okay, I need you to make this like longer and more like story-like, because it was like very robotic at first. And then I had it add a little more like dialogue, because there was like just like straight fucking and no dialogue at one point. And so I was like, okay, I need a little bit more dialogue in here. And then I was like, okay, this is good enough. So I have skimmed it just very briefly. Yeah. But I haven't read it in depth at all. Okay. So
some interesting things about reading an AI generated fic versus a human generated fic. I think we should be asking, would I read it again? Will I do AI generated again? Does it hold up against humans? Is it entertaining as humans? I think there's also taking away creativity in a job from a human.
True. There's also,
if we hate it or love it, we can't praise it or not, because there's no human behind it to praise.
There is no human behind it to praise. Also, obviously, there is a part of me that's like, oh, like this is a job that could be done by a human and we are taking it away. But at the same time,
well, the topic of the episode is AI generated.
yeah.
So it's something to explore. Like, you know, in story writing and everything, there's going to be more like authors nowadays. There's probably ones out there that are just like shitting out a ton of words with like AI generated stuff and then editing it later.
Right. And I think that there is definitely a use case for using AI tools to help you do your existing job. But I think the question of like, can AI be used to replace creativity and to replace people entirely, I think is because I don't know, with like the job market being as bad as it is, I have recently come across like companies that are like, before they hire, they'll ask like hiring managers, like, can an AI do this job? If
Right.
so, we don't need to hire anyone for this position at all. Right? Stuff like that. Or I have another friend who's trying to find a job in like the art industry, like digital art industry. And they're over here like, I can't find any jobs because I make digital art and so does AI, and it does it really well and it does it really fast, and they're out of, I mean, they feel like they might be out of a job permanently and they'll have to change careers entirely because AI. So there is a moral discussion to be had, but I am interested.
But this train's already rolling. Like, we're, you know,
it's like, obviously at some point we had to get rid of horses and carriages, right?
yeah. So it'll be interesting to see how this holds up against human fix. And, you know, my prediction, let's see if I'm wrong, but maybe I'll be pleasantly surprised. At this moment, the way AI, you know, or these LLMs, whatever, like character generators, whatever you want to call them, they seem to just be approximating the average of all the text it's consumed, right? So are we going to get an average fic, or are we going to get an outstanding fic?
I think that's something to look forward to. The other thing I run into with AI stuff is like weird wording or phrasing that normal people wouldn't ever use. I think that's one thing. I think the other one is like something being very repetitive.
Yeah.
So they'll like spit out like 5 paragraphs, but 3 of them are just very similar to each other or something like that, because it like gets confused or lost or something like that. I've seen that happen a bunch. So yeah, we'll have to see. We'll have to read through it and point out what we do like, and then also talk about the things that would be better if a human had done it, or things maybe future AI models would want to improve on.
Yeah. I think something's to be said too about sometimes things are so bad that it's good. And I'm worried that if it's average, if it does end up being average, there's nothing so bad that it's good in there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like sometimes the human element makes it better. Like, I just watched the movie Dinner for Schmucks, and it had like 42% on Rotten Tomatoes. And that movie at times was so bad it was good. Like, they left in a clip of one of the actors like laughing instead of cutting it out. Like, it was just so stupid. It was so bad it was good. Like, I love the human element.
This is not so bad that it's good, but this reminds me of like the Game of Thrones coffee cup that they accidentally left in there. Do you remember that?
Oh yeah.
It's like, if say you had a TV show that's completely AI generated, the likelihood of that happening, like that kind of mistake happening, is probably not.
I don't know. It hallucinates stuff.
It hallucinates sometimes, but like you would think that it would catch it. But like, those are the kinds of moments that I feel like make things human. Like that, the imperfections make it.
Yeah, like
human.
that whole moment made like
It brought people
world
together.
news.
Yeah. It brought people together.
Will this fic bring people together, or will it isolate them in their own echo chambers of talking to AIs?
We'll find
to
out.
generate their perfect fantasy. Eventually, just cut out the word generators, just hook it up to their brain, and then have it hallucinate whatever is pleasurable for the person.
Just implant in my brain, just AI in my brain.
Yeah, and have it sense what you find pleasurable, and just go from there. You'll just be forever trapped in the Matrix. You need to see the Matrix too.
I
You
need
see
I
Mean
need
Girls
to
and the Matrix.
I need to watch Mean Girls and I need to watch the Matrix. Okay, separate topic.
Okay.
If you could get a brain implant
No.
today, no. Imagine if it could control like all of your like different like dopamine level, serotonin level. It's just like all your stuff could be like optimized.
I have pills for that. No, that what they do is they put metal little swords in your fucking brain that like they killed so many monkeys doing this. Have you seen these implants and how they put them in?
No.
It's a matrix of fucking needles stabbing your brain.
That's the same way how normal computer chips are embedded into normal what are they the
But
boards.
that's all hardware. We got wetware. Oh, we got wetware.
Yeah.
We got real wetware.
Anyway, we're off topic. Back to the fic.
No, we're perfectly on topic, baby. This is Slut Shack.
This is Slut Shack, where we
Hell
talk about
yeah.
anything and everything, including hardware to wetware connections,
Interface.
interfaces.
I'm all about interfacing. I'm just laughing at my own jokes at this point.
So no on the implant for you.
Fuck no. They've killed too many monkeys. Poor monkeys.
Yeah, but
You'll break a few eggs to make an
yeah,
omelet.
you gotta break a few eggs to make an omelet. I do feel bad for the monkeys. Please don't feel like I don't feel bad for the monkeys. I really do. But you had to test it some way, somehow. And what is the alternative? What's a more humane alternative, actually? Maybe that's the better question. What is a better way to test something like that doesn't kill innocent monkeys?
Kill innocent humans.
Whoa. Okay, serial killer. Hello. Do I need to leave? Should I leave? I think it's time for me to walk out.
This is the part of the experiment where you do not walk out.
Oh boy. On that note, we will be
snuggle me.
we
You
will be
look
back
so
shortly, having read and commentated on the fic, and we
He's
will
got
discuss
boobs.
the
He looks so cute.
our AI generated Snow White fic.
Okay, break. Oh, it's still going. Break. And we're back.
Are we back?
We're so back.
We're backing it up.
It's recording. Oh, like a Mack truck.
Oh, okay. Weird about Mack trucks. I saw this thing the other day about the movie Cars. And so there's this scene in the first Cars where he like goes and he's like looking for his truck Mack. I think the truck is called Mack.
Okay. Oh, yeah. I remember this guy.
And so this is like he falls, or Mac is falling asleep on the highway.
Right.
And Lightning McQueen, comes out of the truck and then he wakes up and then he's like trying to find Mac and everything. Apparently, I think it's the German version where like, so he gets off the highway and he like talks to this like other truck that he thinks is Mac, but is not actually Mac. And he's like, I'm fucking whatever else. And it's a dude in most other languages. But for whatever freaking reason, I think it's the German version where they gender swapped that truck for
They just
some
couldn't
reason.
find a voice actor.
I don't know why they did it, but they like turned that male truck into a female truck for some reason.
It makes no sense.
I don't know why they did it. I don't know what the reasoning for this choice is, but it's
Wait.
so random.
I have another off-topic question. Lightning McQueen gets inside of Mac.
I think it's a trailer that's attached to Mac. He's not inside of Mac.
That's like you.
That's like me putting a dog in my backpack. The dog is not inside of me. The dog is in the backpack that I'm carrying.
Okay, so it's like giving somebody, another human, a piggyback ride for
Yeah.
a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, baby, all night.
All night long.
All night long.
Riding
piggyback
it
ride.
all night long.
Yeah, across the whole country. Radiator Springs.
Cross country piggyback ride.
More like Palm Springs. Gay joyride.
Some wet
Anyways.
springs.
Anyways,
Hot springs over here.
yeah. So, do you want to walk us through this fic that you generated with Venice AI?
Do you want to walk us through it?
I don't even know what the fuck happened. It basically, Snow White, it opens like this. In the depths of an ancient enchanted forest, Snow White dwelt in a secluded cottage. Blah, 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 blah. Basically, her cottage has a bunch of musky smells because she likes smelliness. She rarely bathed, preferring to let the natural oils of her skin mix with the dust and dirt of the forest floor. And then out while gathering berries, she encountered a group of huntsmen, and surprise, surprise, they fucked. All three of them. They all three have a threesome. The dudes, she approached them. She's like, gentlemen, she purred. You look like you've been working hard. Would you like to cool off with some refreshment? Which I thought was interesting. Wouldn't it be like refreshments? Or which is that just mean her vagina or her one refreshment?
Some refreshment. Is it just like a...
Is that, did she imply sex right there?
No, I don't think she does. I don't know. Is refreshment just like to refresh yourself? In this context?
I guess so. But the huntsmen exchanged glances, taken aback by her boldness. They were used to delicate, frail women, not this wild, untamed creature who seemed to radiate a primal energy. I would not describe... All depictions of Snow White would not sound like that. So this Snow White version is fucking feral.
This is some alternate universe.
This is not Snow White. This is Smelly White.
Yeah,
I'm gonna call her Smelly White.
I mean, with how dirty and unbathed she is, I doubt she's very Snow Whitey.
She's Smelly White now.
She's Smelly White now. And so then our huntsmen introduce themselves as Rory and Gunner. Rory is a tall, lean man with a shock of red hair, and Gunner is a burly man with a thick beard. And
are these actual characters? Are these just made up characters by the AI, or are they actually part of like the Snow White lore?
I have no idea. I assumed they were made up, but I don't know.
I googled Rory, Gunner, Snow White and got a bunch of trash results, so I'm guessing they're just made up.
Yeah, they're probably made up characters, it sounds like.
Okay.
But they found themselves drawn to our Smelly White here.
Why didn't they choose the 7 dwarves? Any of the 7 dwarves? There were 7 of them to choose from.
I do not know.
Anyways.
Not
Not my monkey, not my circus.
Yeah.
Is that the phrase? I think I
have no idea. But it sounds about right.
Sounds about white.
Sounds about white.
Sounds about Snow White.
Snow White. This is what they gave me, or what the AI gave me. So
this is
I'm
all
rolling
that
it.
the AI gives.
I'm rolling with it. So they were attracted to her like moths to a flame, and so Snow White led them to her cottage. And at this stage, Cinnamon was... You want to read your comment there? Let's discuss your comment here.
Oh, yeah. I said, I'm kind of amazed at how cohesive this story is and how good Venice AI's memory is. Because at this point, like, you know, we're about a page in and it's really reading like a story, you know, like intro, the pacing of it, it makes complete sense, like paragraph to paragraph, like this story unfolding. I was really impressed with that an AI wrote.
Do you, even looking forward through the rest of the story, do you feel that way about the overall story?
I think the middle of the story and the end were not as good as the intro.
As the intro?
And the pacing of it in general.
Okay, fair.
But
okay.
that's true for a lot of stories.
That's fair.
I think what the fuck? 1 second. Kitty Patrol.
Back to the story, we had, she could smell their scent in a heady mix of man, earth, and sweat, and it made her mouth water. Looking at I think I started to just ignore all of the smell, scents, and all that stuff while reading the story.
They felt haphazardly thrown in.
Yeah, they kind of did.
It wasn't a central like piece of the story. Like I get it. It's like burly dudes in the woods, smelly, whatever.
Lots of beads of sweat being licked.
Sweat, and like they couldn't think of something more interesting.
I guess maybe we'd have to read more like
I wanted her to drip like a vial like into a glass bottle, like her sweat, and have him drink it or some shit like that, like some weird shit. You know what I mean?
Why does that sound? Actually not bad.
I wanted them to make it like a central piece of the story, like something to talk about. But as I worried, the AI is just approximating the average of what you see with sweat.
Okay. That makes sense. Yeah, it didn't take it far enough. It didn't take the sweat elements
and
far
that's
enough.
Some feedback maybe if we had thought to tell Venice AI to make it like a central moment in the story or something. I don't know.
I wonder if we could take the story and then have Venice AI add those like elements and change it
But that
up.
was a human idea.
That's true.
Like I came up with that idea.
True.
And then so did Venice AI write the story? Maybe mechanically, like it like if I had a buddy in the room that I said like, oh, write this down, and then they had their own, they captured what I was trying to say, but it was my idea.
Okay. Here's a different thought though. There are a bunch of authors that go and get ghostwriters.
Right. Is that ethical?
And is having an AI write the story?
It's basically like having a ghostwriter.
Is it like having a ghostwriter? I understand that obviously a ghostwriter gets paid and all that stuff. I get that. But like from the actual author's piece of it, like is it that different to slap your label or your name onto an AI written fic versus a ghost written fic? Because the credit, it doesn't go to the ghostwriter anyway. It's
your name on it. You're on the line for all the reviews and feedback and stuff.
Yeah. So I don't know. Questions to ask.
That's a good point. That's something to think about.
Okay. So we are now being led into the cottage. Gunnar, his beard glistening with sweat, noticed her gaze. He smirked, his eyes darkened with lust. So I feel like I read this phrase of like eyes darkening in a bunch of different places.
Yes.
And I have yet to understand what that really means.
It means this. I'll demonstrate.
So you look like an imp? Like
That's my. Oh, is that what tobacco calls? What does he call that face that I do?
Face?
The gremlin face. Yeah, I do this gremlin face.
No, it can't mean that. That is the most off-putting face.
I just did the most unhinged face that Coco just.
That is the most. There's nothing like sexual or attractive about that face. If that is what they mean in these stories, this is the most turn off, like turned off face that one could make.
My imp face, my gremlin face. I want to call it the imp face.
The imp face. So yeah, if anybody has examples of darkened eyes or darkening
that's
eyes,
the example right there.
I would like to see pictures.
You know what? You know how there's ads? Everyone gets ads for like backstage to like try to like apply for like voice acting or acting, whatever. I want to apply. I want to try out. See, I don't even know how. I want to audition. Okay, not try out. Like
Dude, that face is so unhinged that they could turn it into a meme. Like
I need to just try out.
Unhinged faces.
I need to just audition for everything and only do that face until someone writes it into a story, because
it's just gonna haunt them in their nightmares until they write it into a story.
Maybe I'll film the movie of myself doing that.
Do it.
Okay. Anyways.
Snow White's tongue darted out to lick her lips. And she finds the sight of a man's sweat mesmerizing. Naturally. Yeah, so it's like it's embedded in there, but it's not
haphazardly thrown.
Yeah, it's haphazardly thrown.
It's not the highlight of the story. I thought this part was funny. Fuck, that's hot, Rory murmured, his eyes locking on Snow White's tongue, because I thought of Paris Hilton when he said that's hot.
Okay.
That's it.
Fair. I thought the phrasing, her body moving with a sinuous grace, was interesting.
I had to Google the word sinuous.
Like sin, essentially.
Yeah, no, it means like curvy.
Does it?
Yeah, what does sinewy mean? Consisting of resembling sinews. Okay, what the fuck is a sinew? I hate words. Piece of tough fibrous tissue.
No,
okay,
I don't
there's
think
no relation.
No, that's different. Yeah.
No relation.
And then she invites them to start making out with her, and tongues tracing the lines of their muscles, hands exploring every inch of their skin.
Yada yada yada. His body trembling with desire. Yada yada yada. Hands rubbing over her body. Nose buried in her neck, inhaling her scent deeply. You smell like the forest, he murmured, his voice thick with desire, like earth and sweat and woman. That's very primal. So you smell like woman. A lot of the like Rory quotes I imagine in like a Russian accent, like Vlad on Instagram.
Is Rory the redhead, or is Rory?
Yeah, he's the redhead.
You
smell like the forest.
You smell like the forest.
He murmured, his voice thick with desire, like earth and sweat and woman.
We need someone who can do a real good Russian accent to come in.
Vodka.
Can we turn this into an audiobook? Can we record this as like full audio? And put it up?
Why not? Let's put it after this.
We can do this as full audio.
And then I'll do his Russian accent.
Yeah.
It's going to be a very botched audiobook because we don't do anything professional on this
Not
podcast.
Not at all. But it'll
be us giggling.
It'll just be us giggling
And reading the story without commenting much.
Also, though, if you want the full text to this fic, you can request it. Like, email us at slutshackx@gmail.com and we will provide you the full text for the fic. We don't have a great place to put it up anywhere right now, but we will send it over to you if you would like to read the full fic.
Yes, we will.
But apparently we're also going to put it in as an audiobook now. So
we're promising a lot of things.
From this
AI episode.
Yeah.
I don't know if we're going to do any of it.
We'll figure it out. Oh boy. Oh, and then I love how you lost track of where Rory went in the next paragraph. You're just like,
yeah, because everything was like Gunner.
No, it wasn't. The previous paragraphs were all Rory, and Gunner's just been watching like a freaking voyeur.
Okay, because then I was like, where the fuck did Rory go? And then a couple paragraphs later, it says Rory, his breath coming in ragged gasps, watches his friend tasted Snow White, his own desire growing. Then I said, oh, there he is.
Yeah, but he had been touching her the whole time up until Gunner got involved.
Yeah, I was fucking confused.
Yeah. And then we get more tongues
I didn't realize
roaming.
this was going to be a threesome situation. I thought it was all just like Gunner, and I was like, oh, where did this friend go? I kept wanting to catch the AI making a like big mistake.
I think there is. I think there
was only one big thing that didn't make sense in the story, and it was a very small like paragraph, like hardly even a paragraph. It's just like a sentence or two. And basically what's happening, it says, the paragraph before says, Snow White moaned, her body writhing under his touch. She reached out, her hand gripping Rory's cock. She stroked him, her hand moving in time with Gunner's tongue. Rory groaned, his body trembling with need. And then, fuck, your mouth is magic, Gunner murmured, his tongue trailing up Snow White's spine. I can't get enough of your taste. Like, there's no reference to him kissing her mouth or
anything like that.
Her using her mouth or anything. And he's trailing his tongue up her spine, but he's saying your mouth is magic?
Yeah, that part
makes no sense.
It didn't make sense.
It makes no sense.
So that was definitely a little strange. Rory, unable to resist the primal scene before him, positioned himself in front of Snow White, his cock hard and ready. He lifted her legs, his cock pressing against her pussy. She moaned, her body aching with need. He thrust into her, his cock filling her completely. She moaned, her body writhing under his touch. So we start getting into the actual fucking. Mm-hmm. And then Gunner positions himself behind Snow White, and then we have his cock pressing up against her ass, using saliva to lubricate her ass. And thrust into her, his cock filling her completely.
And then the next paragraph I commented that, okay, so Rory and Gunnar began to move in sync, their bodies slapping together, the moans and gas filling the air. So they're having a threesome full on at this moment. And I was reminded of the phrase Eiffel Tower. So I was on Urban Dictionary reading what the fuck an Eiffel Tower was because I kept hearing references to it on social media and shit. And
But
I
you
needed to
didn't know what the
learn.
actual position
No,
looked like?
no, I didn't know.
It looks like the Eiffel Tower.
Well, I figured, but I just didn't know the specific. I knew it was like two dudes and a woman, but I didn't know like the specifics of it. So I looked it up and I confirmed, just for your information, dear listener, this is not an Eiffel Tower.
No, it is not.
Do you want to explain what an Eiffel Tower is? Because I'm gonna fuck it up.
Okay.
The woman's here. I'll take it away.
Okay. Obviously, you want to talk
giving
about
the blowjob, and then another dude is fucking her from behind, and then they touch tips of their fingers together to make an Eiffel Tower. They extend their arms and touch each other. It's actually really tender and romantic of them, isn't it? It's kind of gay because they're touching while having sex.
Sure.
Anyways.
But yeah, that is an Eiffel Tower. And this in this story is not an Eiffel Tower. I don't know what position this is, but it's definitely not an Eiffel Tower.
Yeah, and then next paragraph, Rory's whatever grunts hip thrusting, and he says, "Your pussy is like a vice." And then I commented, "What, not a virtue?" And then Coco was like, "You don't know what a vice is? It's like carpentry, like a clamp." And I was like, "Oh shit, like a vice grip." Yeah, okay.
And then your ass is like heaven, so warm and inviting. And then, the cottage is filled with the sounds of their passion, the wet slapping of flesh against flesh, the moans and gasps of pleasure. To which you wrote, "So cottagecore."
Yeah, they're at the core of cottage right now. They're at the hot, wet core of the cottage.
Oh God, I'm going to come.
I'm gonna come. How would Snow White moan? She would sing like she does to birds.
Do it. Sing.
Oh, I'm gonna come.
Do it again. That was so.
Oh, I'm gonna come.
That was pretty impressive.
That has a vibrato on it. Wait, let me see if I got that shit. I almost blew out my mic.
That was pretty great.
Anyways. That's gonna start the episode.
That definitely will start the episode. I already knew that was gonna be it. Rory groaned, his body shuddering as he came, his cock pulsing inside Snow White. She moaned, her own orgasm crashing over her, her body convulsing with pleasure. As she came, she felt a gush of fluid, her body squirting with release.
I commented, "Snow White is a squirter." Caught red-handed.
The wet sound of it filled the air, and Gunnar groaned, his own orgasm triggered by the sight and sound. He came, his cock pulsing as he filled her ass with his seed. Pulsing.
Snow White moaned, her body trembling with the aftermath of her orgasm. And I was like, is it just me, or was the sex like 2 seconds long? But then don't be afraid, fear not, dear listener, because they go again, and it keeps going
right back at
for
it.
like a whole nother 2-3 pages. Holy fuck. I don't even remember what happens after this.
They changed positions is what happened.
Oh, okay.
So now we
Oh
get,
yeah, and then the dudes start fucking.
Yeah.
Gunnar positioned himself behind Rory, his cock pressing against his ass. Coco says, "Oh, we got bi action here. The AI is so progressive." It's true.
I wasn't expecting that, to be honest. I figured that this was just compiling a bunch of like stories from the internet. We'd get
A bunch of straight vanilla.
we'd get a bunch of straight vanilla stuff, yeah.
Rory moaned, his body shuddering with pleasure as Gunnar entered him. Then just a lot of smut that we just didn't. There's like 10 or 12 paragraph stretch we were just reading. We didn't even comment anything.
His mouth sucking and licking at her clit.
Yeah, lots of clit action.
Then she orgasms again, her body convulsing with pleasure, wet sounds in the air, cock pulsing. Snow White's body was covered in a sheen of sweat. The musky scent of their combined sweat and desire did some stuff, I don't know.
Sweat. We get it.
Sweat.
We get it. Do something with the sweat. Put it in a glass jar.
The woman who reveled in the scent of sweat and primal
Inject
allure.
it into your veins.
Inject it. This isn't bleach, girl. To those who know, no.
What the fuck, Coco?
That was very 2020. I haven't left 2020.
Me neither. I'm gonna start rounding to 2030.
Oh gosh. She could still feel the warmth of their seed inside her. Okay, all the sex happens. They're finally done-ish. She could feel this warmth of their seed inside her, could still smell the intoxicating scent of their sweat and desire. And then to which Cinnamon wrote, so the sweat kink stuff is only represented as an afterthought. If this was a contest and the prompt was sweat kink stuff, this fic would perform poorly.
What do you think about that comment?
No, I agree with you. I think it's very consistent. Like there is sweat stuff and sweat related
It's highlighted
stuff.
for sure.
It's definitely in there. It's not that it isn't, but it's like it doesn't take it too far. It's just like it's an ever-present minor theme throughout.
Had I not known that the theme of this fic was sweat, I never would have realized
That's fair.
that's what it's about.
Even though, yeah, okay. I think this could be rewritten to highlight the sweat stuff more for sure.
Yeah. Like something interesting about the sweat, not that it's just there.
Not that it's
I
just
guess
there.
people that like get off to it would like the references to it, you know, more than we would.
Maybe.
Like, just being in there.
Hey, if you've got if you have a sweat kink or you enjoy those kinds of stories, please ask us for the fic, read through it, and let us know what you think. If this did it for you, or if this was not far enough. I am curious to know.
What are the seven dwarves' names? Like, why didn't they make one Happy, Doc, Grumpy, Dopey, Bashful, Sleepy, and Sneezy? Why didn't Sneezy like get all in there and sneeze and get wet and sweat?
There is no reference to the dwarves throughout this story. This is a very isolated Snow White. This is very not Disney
she
Snow
don't
White.
need no man. She's independent from those seven dwarves. She don't.
Is Snow White a character? Because Snow White, I'm pretty sure, has been around since before Disney. Has Snow White always had the seven dwarves in like her story, or has Snow White been like a standalone character?
Snow White is a German fairy tale. I'm reading the Wikipedia
it's from the
page.
Grimm.
First written down in early
fairy
19th
tales.
century. Brothers Grimm published it. What doesn't necessarily mean that they created it.
Yeah,
just
but
that
I
they
mean,
collected it.
that's still like older than Disney.
Original title was Schneewittchen.
Regardless of what it means, it's been around since the 19th century, which is definitely before Disney.
Okay,
So, were the dwarves part of the original story, though?
let's see. Yes.
Yeah.
The fairy tale features elements such as the magic mirror, the poisoned apple, the glass coffin, and the characters of the evil queen and seven dwarves.
Okay, so the dwarves have always been there. So that's interesting that there was no mention of the dwarves in this story. Oh, okay. So then they all go to sleep, and then it's morning, and they're licking each other's sweat and everything in the morning and all that jazz. She could feel the sweat that coated his skin, could smell the musky scent of his desire, blah, blah, blah. Their bodies are pressed together, more intoxicating scents, and then they'll never forget this night. Oh, here we go. Then we have lines, or we have phrases that are in the dialogue, like smell like heaven, pussy like a vice, sweat like sin, and to which Cinnamon wrote in there, these would make great lyrics, I'm assuming, for a song.
Pussy like a vice, sweat like sin.
I got nothing to add to that one. We'll write the song one of these
Bet
years.
you don't know whose ass I'm in. That's Gunner.
It's your mom's.
Your mom.
Your mom's.
Your mom.
And then you said
Your
that this
mother.
is just getting repetitive now. Yeah, the ending was definitely kind of
Yeah,
repetitive.
it starts slogging on.
Yeah, like they just don't leave. Like they wake up and then they just like there.
Get the fuck out of my house. She should have said.
And then she's like, the forest calls to you and you must answer. I was like, what is this cheesy ass line? Like,
Yeah.
what it just and
it
then,
starts getting really fucking cliche and cheese. May
Yeah.
the forest always provide for you. Blah,
yeah,
blah, blah.
the ending for this definitely needs to be like the last page and a half needs to be redone
completely
for sure.
rewrite.
Yeah, like it needs to be way more concise. It needs to be done better.
And the writer of the fic keeps using the phrase "she was Snow White." Like, why? We know, bitch. The woman who reveled in the scent of sweat and the primal allure of unwashed bodies. It's that whole concept of not say it, don't spray it, but like show, don't tell.
Show, don't tell. Yeah. Gosh.
Say it, don't spray it. Actually, spraying it would be better at this point.
Yeah.
Please give us something. Squirt for us. Snow
Squirt for
White.
us. She did like 2 or 3 times.
I know. Snow White's a squirter.
She's a squirter. Anyway, and then she would never look back. And then to which again, Cinnamon was like, "What a half-assed ending."
Yeah, that was the ending line. She was Snow White again, and she would continue to embrace her desires, her kink, and her wild, untamed spirit, and she would never look back. From what, bitch? Why was that? Like, why did that sound profound? Like,
Even though she just got railed.
yeah, she wasn't looking back at it.
I guess not. But yeah, so the ending was kind of weird. It felt like it kind of lost itself in the ending there.
Lost the sauce.
The beginning was pretty solid. The middle was
Poop soup.
poop soup. Whoa.
The middle was a little poop soup.
What do you mean by
Just
that?
too much boring, bland shit, repetitive, too long.
Okay, fair.
Poop soup.
And then the ending was just
Ass.
Was ass.
The ass. The entire human centipede. We have the head, the middle, and the poop
Okay.
soup ass.
So Cinnamon, we need a rating and we need a chili pepper score.
Entertainment score. I'll give it a 3 for the non-Eiffel Tower scene.
Okay.
3 stars out of 5.
Okay.
And chili peppers, I'll give it 2 out of 5. They could have done something way hotter with the sweat stuff.
Okay. Fair.
They, as in the AI.
I will give it. I'll give it a 3 for the rating. I didn't think the middle portion was. I thought the beginning was good. The middle I didn't think was too bad. I feel like it really lost it. The AI just was struggling at the end though, for sure, in wrapping it up. So I'll give it a 3. I did appreciate that there was some sort of exposition though, and it didn't just like kill it, but it was just too much. So I'll give it a 3. Chili pepper rating. Had this not been an actual kink, had this not been meant to be a kink fic, I probably would have given it a 4 for chili. Well, like 3.5, maybe 3.5. I would have given it a 3.5 for chili peppers. Had this not been for kink specific, like sweat kink specific, but because it is, and it was always treated as just kind of like there, but not ever really the main focus, I'll give it a 3.
All right. So that is average of 3 stars for entertainment and 2.5 chili peppers between us.
Yeah, I can live with that.
Yeah, I think that's pretty accurate. Now what?
Now we figure out how to record this audiobook. And yeah, if you would like this fic, this was Desires of the Forest, written and generated by Venice AI. We can provide you a copy of it if you email us at slutshackx@gmail.com.
Is this worth reading the audiobook for, though? Is the next AI, could we be holding out? Is the next AI one because you generated 2 AI fics.
Yeah.
Could the next one be better?
Maybe. Actually, if we get enough people to ask for the audiobook, we'll record the audiobook.
That sounds good.
Otherwise,
don't forget to like, comment, subscribe.
Yeah, and let us know what you think on our email. Please engage.
Please notice me. Notice me, senpai.
And I think with that, on that note, that's it.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Now it's time for some aftercare.